It's only one. Love.
Yes, sir. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and SamAnt over there from Viral Hip Hop News. We're going in today on this Monday evening. I want to talk about this story. It's been a hot topic pretty much all week since he's been arrested on federal racketeering charges. Rapper 6ix9ine, and we know about the 13-year-old that he allegedly engaged in a sex act with. Well, he, will be resentenced according to the judge in that case. Now, he did kind of escape, initially with 1,000 hours of community service and 4 years of probation over the 2015 case. But now the judge wants to bring him back and re-sentence him simply because, his violation with the feds and other things he's, now being charged with. SamAnt, what are your thoughts about Tekashi 6ix9ine being resentenced, looking at doing some time before he has to do some time, essentially?
I'm thinking 6ix9ine had a feeling this was coming.
Definitely.
And I'm thinking he had a feeling this was coming even around that Breakfast Club interview, because something's ringing in my head. The two things I'm scared of, what do you say, God and the feds?
Mm-hmm.
He knew. They were calling. He was knocking. And then you see the video of that come out. And now we're seeing everything, all the events that transpire. And some things are comfortable talking about, some things ain't. We all see the nonsense going on. We see some fake shit. We see some real shit. But I think the overall premise is dude's in trouble because he's sitting in federal custody right now behind bars looking to do real federal time on, to add insult to injury. Then you got this thing looming down. Where in New York? It's in New York, right? I think
this one.
Yeah,
I think Houston. I mean, somewhere in Texas, not Houston.
Texas. Okay. Yeah. So then now you have a judge that already warned you, already gave you stipulations behind your community service and behind you getting off without any jail time. You can't scream what you can't scream, and you can't get in any more trouble. And then all he's done since leaving that case is get in trouble. So this shouldn't be surprising. This isn't surprising to us. This shouldn't be surprising to him. And what do you think about the people out here saying that he isn't going to do any time, that they don't have a case? Because we've seen a lot of very strong platforms say the case isn't that strong. The feds really don't have much on 6ix9ine. What do you think about that?
Well, I think people kind of looking at the indictment, and the reason why it was saying that is because it's not as detailed as other indictments that they read. I know that sounds crazy, people reading indictments like that, but it goes on now, in the social media era. But it's just like people, I don't believe it. I mean, it's the feds. We know about their conviction rate, already. To me, it just looks like Rick Ross said it best. You can sing gang, gang. Now you want to rat. I mean, you said all this stuff. You proclaimed this lifestyle. You promoted this lifestyle. Now you want to say you wasn't about that. It was entertainment. You know what I mean? But there's other things. It's cool. That's fine. But you have acts allegedly that happened on your watch. People that are allegedly affiliated with you that happened. They got wiretaps. They got different evidence on that. They're going to bring you to court saying, look, we want to give you life. So can he beat it? Maybe. There's always, I can't say, nah, he's going to, it's a little percentage that he can. It's real slim, but I'm not the police. I don't get into that type of stuff too deep, but go ahead, bro.
Let me ask you a question, God. I wanted to ask you something. So he's screaming that he was a part of the Bloods. He was screaming that he was Treyway. And then he tried to get as far away from that as possible. He's not a Blood. He's not a gang member. Is that equate to ratting? Because that's what,
according to the streets,
that's what Rick Ross is implying right now. So, I mean, what's your perspective?
Yeah, because, these gang members or whatever, these people, whatever you want to call them, this is a way of life that they do. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunate, some things are illegal criminal activity, but this is something that they stand by. And the thing is that when you stand by it and when you get caught, you supposed to be a man and take it on the chin and do your time. It ain't time to point fingers. You know what I mean? None of that. Once you do that, once you cooperate with the police, you're considered a rat. Period.
Has he cooperated by now saying he's not a gang member? Do you think so? Or do you think he just tried to disassociate himself with that?
In the court, in the public opinion, obviously, if you're in court, that's what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? But it can't come at the expense of your man. Now, I don't know about the relationship. You know what I mean? But it's just like everybody, I'm going to bring this part up too. And I'll play the clip. I'll cut the clip in. Also, Treyway said that he wasn't a Blood. So he said that he wasn't a part of the Blood gang either. That's his defense. So everybody's going to use that defense. But what does videotape say? What evidence are the feds bringing? They're going to try to show the evidence on tape, the colors or whatever they was doing, the signs that they were throwing up, but they're going to try to, tie that up into a gang and whatever, I don't know the blood signs and all that, but whatever they're going to do, their due diligence and do their research to show the jurors and all that, or the judge, what a gang is and say, look, these people are a gang. They're part of this gang. They're saying this set, this what this mean, this what that mean. That's going to be their job. The job of the defense is going to be to say, nah, we're not a part of that. We didn't do none of that. That's what's going to happen with that.
So you saying, or everyone obviously in the case is going to scream that they're not a gang member. That's what you do in the defense, obviously.
Right.
So what gives you the inclination, or the people out there, and I'm being objective, so I'm just trying to throw everything out there, give anybody the feeling that 6ix9ine himself is snitching? Why is it so easy to point the finger at him snitching? Because he's the one that is the phony, or he's the first one to say that he's not a part of the gang? Or what gives us that feeling he's the rat, as opposed to
he disassociated, himself from his team.
Okay.
For one. Now, whatever. And
that was based off the video that we saw.
Right.
Okay.
None of the stuff has been substantiated, whether they stole from him or not. That could just be a lie. You know what I mean? Maybe things were getting hot. He knew the feds was coming in, and maybe he felt like he had to get away if he had any chance of winning the case. Who knows? I'm just throwing that out there. But, you with these cats, they're supposed to be your mans and all that. And then the next day, when you go to the feds, you're not your mans no more. The feds are not going to believe that. I don't know if jurors are going to believe that. I think he's going to have a hard time trying to convince that it was just entertainment. You know what I mean? Yeah. He wasn't doing that. I think he's going to have a hard time just simply because if nothing ever happened, if people wasn't getting shot, Barclays Center's getting shot up, we know the Chief Keef, the situation with his cousin and stuff, but stuff didn't happen, then he might have that. But now it's like things actually happen. They got you on, video, pop up, saying a little bit too much in the era that too many people are just saying too much. He's one of the cats that said a little bit too much. I'm not gonna, the videos out there on YouTube, all over the internet, websites and everything. So they're going to bring that evidence. We know their conviction rate, the feds. This is the federal government, no play around. You know what I mean? So that's about as much chance as he got. Whatever that conviction rate is, it's not going to change.
Nah.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
Let me ask you a question. What do you see? Do you see him doing a legitimate amount of time, or do you see, based off of him pleading not guilty, his defense very kind of confident in their strategy that he has something in the hole that's going to beat out the tape on him trying to put the hit out, or this, or doing that? Do you think that he has enough of the defense? I could basically ask you a two-part question. My fault. So do you think that he has enough of defense to get out of here? And do we do him any justice in providing the commentary? I
don't know. I mean, my thing is, first, does he do him any justice with the commentary? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if any, jurors or whoever's going to be involved in that case looks at this, but I do know that when they're in that court, and they look at the evidence, they're going to be persuaded a certain way, no matter what. I don't know if he's going to have enough, to beat the case. I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as the bloggers and everything, this is just a part of the news. There's headlines out there. People are interested. We're interested. We talk about it and try to come to, some resolution or whatever we can with this. Try to get some type of learn something from it. Somebody can learn something from this at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But again, it's a Fed case. They don't usually put cases on people that they can't win. So it's just not looking good, man. I mean, he's going to fight with his life, obviously, and say everything that he can, but if it even matters, probably don't. At this point, street cred, that's done. I don't know if he can ever come back, and be, a particular rapper like that, whatever. I mean, I'm sure he's not even worried about that right now, but he's going to have a tough time, beating this case. Tough time. Indeed.
Let's segue real quick into the blogger section of that. Because this story in particular, I see a lot of people real upset at people commentating, and you can understand why, because you have a lot of bloggers out there and fuck boys. It is what it is. Jump into anything that they can grab, or any story that they see immediately without doing their proper research, and just throwing it out here for the sake of views or entertainment, and then greeting a buzz. And then, we all know the routine.
Right.
But then we see a lot of people out here in the media, not in the media, excuse me, on the entertainment side of it, really throwing a bad eye toward bloggers and I guess you could put media and things like that. So whose fault is that? Is that valid to say? Is that right for the entertainers to do, or do they have some weight in kind of shunning the bloggers out?
Well, it all depends, man. Like different platforms do different things, you know, and a lot of different platforms have been under, you know, fire for some of the things that they promote. Now, I'm not going to necessarily, this is just the name of the game. Just like anything else. If it's just something hot out there, people are going to jump on it. You know what I mean? But I think it's the people, you know, responsibility to choose the platforms, you know, who does the best job of being non-biased and getting as much of the most accurate information out, you know, as we can. Because most of us, you know, we're not getting it directly from the source. We're getting it from sources, different sources, whether it be news articles or something else. So it'll be nice if we can actually talk to the people. But sometimes the celebrities don't respond when you reach out to them for interviews. You know what I'm saying? Oh, go ahead.
No, go. Do you think?
Yeah. So yeah, man. I think, you know, we definitely have a responsibility. You know, I don't think there's anybody who could say if it's not too much or enough. People talk about it enough, or just, you know, people just turn you off. You know, when I want to hear you talking about it no more. But there's always, as we say, more people who maybe didn't heard something that's put out there, you know, or new people that's coming in that may want to be informed about something new, you know. So that's the way I kind of look at it with that.
Would you consider us a blogger? Because what we do is a podcast. We have the Uncensored podcast. We have that structured.
Right.
We have it on iTunes, Spotify. We have it solidified. So are the entertainment people talking about podcast people, or are they throwing us all into the same realm because we may be at the same pool as other people? What separates the blogger, in your opinion, and the people doing podcasts? Well,
everybody, see, what we kind of do is a little different, because I think maybe more so they're talking about like your TMZs and stuff. And not to say they're not talking about like people like academics too, but when those articles in particular come out, usually it's like a TMZ or a Bossip, you know, one of these other companies that put something out there into the atmosphere, and then, you know, everybody else would start do the videos based on the article. You know what I mean? Sometimes it works, you know, the other way around. But at fault, I don't know, you know, at fault for what? You know what I mean? What do you mean at fault?
In regards to what?
You talking about the block? You was asking me, are they at fault?
Who's at fault? Like, okay, who's at fault in the divide? Who's at fault with the entertainers and the hip hop commentators of today of 2018, because it's not in radio anymore. Let's keep it 100. What's the divide in that? Like, where's the separation? Because it really makes no sense to me how you could look at certain platforms, and I'm not just talking about the Uncensored True podcast. I'm not just talking about Hip Hop News, Uncensored, or Viral. I'm talking about in general, because there's 1.9 billion people that sit on YouTube and just watch. There's other platforms that people just sit on their phone and watch. There's a new wave beginning, and there's people out there outside of your mainstreams doing major numbers. Why don't these entertainers do more research into them? Because you know they fucking see it. You know they see it. Why don't they do more research into some of these platforms and go, okay, I'm gonna mess with him for the sake, on the strength of, yo, I could do 1 million over there. I know I can. Why? Where's the divide at? What happened to that? Because it could be such beautiful symmetry, but you don't see it happening.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's a good point to actually bring up, because it seems like that people are still drawn to the dinosaurs of the hip hop, you know, arena, that still do magazines, and who really looks at magazines anymore? It's like it's totally changed now. You know, there's something different. But I don't know. I think it's just going to come with companies like ours and similar companies continuing to pump and continuing to try to earn the respect, you know, by continuing to level